Let's get cracking!
Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Fnatic versus Na'Vi after what was a rather interesting Game 1. I know it started out a little slow. I think we had like 7 kills on the board at like 20 minutes or something like that. It was one hell of a farm game for like the first 25 minutes, but it sure as hell was a very, very interesting draft from both sides. We saw a Drow Ranger picked up by Na'Vi, as well as a Huskar and a Dusa being grabbed by Fnatic. And honestly, this is exactly what I expect out of Fnatic in so many different of their games. And sometimes they just come up with some sort of strategy, and it seems so damn hard to counter just because they come ahead, they think about it ahead of time, they come into this fully fledged out strat that they want to be able to run. Honestly, I think they got every single hero that they wanted to pick up there. I don't think they were denied anything that they were looking for. That just seemed to work so well, the synergy between their own heroes and Na'Vi. Despite the fact that they had a pretty decent kill lineup, they just could not seem to make it work up against Fnatic's very, very defensive lineup. Let's get into Game 2, guys, where we already have the draft underway. Fnatic starting out with an Axe. I welcome in my co-caster, Ryu Burrows. Ryu, what are your thoughts on the Axe pickup here?
See if we get some more dunks. We didn't see that many last game. We just saw a little bit more passive, and he was just kept dying a lot in the team fights. It felt like at the beginning, kind of like the Centaur. Both the offlane heroes were just dying first, it felt like. And really good counter to Dazzle. Always have the Axe nearby.
Yep, he's going to be pretty handy when that Shallow Grave goes down, but I was going to talk about, like, what do you do to really stop that kind of draft there? Because it felt like the only, like, top-tier heroes that Fnatic really picked up was Treant Protector and Dazzle, and they grabbed that as a 1-2 combo. Do you think teams need to start banning out the Treant Protector? He seems to be such a versatile hero that he just seems to be a strong support no matter what kind of draft you're running, whether it's ultra defensive like Fnatic did in this first game, or a lot of times a lot of early aggression. You see that a lot out of Evil Geniuses, sometimes with a lot of greed mixed in. It seems like Treant Protector is just a top-tier support right now that you just cannot give away, at least not in the comboing it up with a 1-2. Like maybe his first pick, but then you get to counter out by like grabbing Dazzle or whatever you want to counter the living armor. But as a 1-2 punch, that just seems way too tough to deal with.
Yeah, it just got out of control maybe from last game because they got the second Roshan and then they were able to get the butterfly. Maybe if they contested that Roshan, it would have ended differently for Na'Vi. But the only thing they could do is split put. The one thing that counters that lineup is split pushing and getting more objectives in the enemy, and then that's what they did. That's what they had to do because you cannot team fight. Or you get heroes that can control better in the early game with early game pressure. They had Avenge plus Alina they roamed, but they didn't roam effectively this last game. So either get more pressure on the board earlier and take more towers because they only got one tower bottom, and then they got another tower bottom, but then they lost the tier 1 top. So it kind of negated what they were trying to do.
Well, this draft, we're going to see an Axe as well as Mirana picked up by Fnatic, while the Dazzle and Tuskar being grabbed by Na'Vi. Now, I'm excited to see Tuskar. I was able to watch some of that match earlier that I was talking about where Na'Vi ran an off-lane Tuskar. So Fnatic was on the Tusk the last time it was seen on Na'Vi. So I'm excited to be able to cast this game, but I can't help feeling that this is going to be like sometimes a counter to Axe, and other times going to play right into the Axe's hand. Like, if you actually get, like, maybe a Blink Dagger up on Tuskar, and Axe gets a good initiation, but you come in and snowball those heroes that are taunted by the Axe, you can save them and get them to, you know, at least a little bit of safety. Buy them a little bit of time, and they can start going on somebody else. But at the same time, if you aggressively snowball and the Axe counter-initiates you as you all come out, that's just a free group up as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I'm glad to see Tuskar being played, though. They banned it out last game. I thought Na'Vi could have played it. Not last game, though. Tuskar seems really useless against Dazzle plus a tree and all the tank ability. And Tuskar versus X, trying to see how this is going to work out. Like you said, you can always have these special occasions where you can dodge a lot of the damage with the call with this if you just snowball in. And, well, I love Tuskar when you're playing against a Mirana. It's easy to catch up if you have 1 or 2 heroes, or even a smoke You cannot run from that snowball.
Fnatic's
Yeah,
turn
it's
to
just easy chase. On top of that, following it up with nice little icicle shards is a good block off after the leap is already down. So yeah, I'm feeling you, man. I'm feeling you. I think this is going to be good for Na'Vi, and I'm sure they already. I mean, they picked it up after the axe, so I'm sure they already have their game plan in mind of how to make sure they don't get caught by the obvious call. We're going to see the puck as well as the SF banned out by Fnatic, so taking away some of those more dangerous early game mids, while we're going to see the Slark as well as the Bane banned out by Na'Vi. So taking away at least one of the arrow setup heroes. Again, Shadow Demon being completely neglected so far in this draft. Wraith King, though, is going to be picked up by Fnatic. And what are your thoughts? Support or carry Wraith King?
remaining.
I think it's.
Remaining.
It's tough
I'm
to
just gonna
call,
talk about
isn't it?
something else because I don't know exactly.
Reserve time.
Because
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about it. Either way, it's gonna be useful. I was gonna talk about how Dazzle and Wraith King now have 2 lives, and they're gonna be having both teams have a lot of kiting potential with Tuskar, Dazzle, with Grave, Wraith King, Mirana Leap. You have a lot of these kiting abilities, so you could have a long, sustained team fights. That's why Wraith King as support wouldn't be bad. Mirana mid. I think what's a better carry is Wraith King still than Mirana. So if you did it, obviously Mirana would be mid. They're going to do the Axe off lane again. It just depends on their next support. If they get maybe a range support, if they get a range support and a range carry, it could be a support. So either one's fine.
I'm thinking the times that I've seen Fnatic run Wraith King, it has been a carry. But honestly, it's very, very viable. I just love watching Sai play Wraith King. And that's something I forgot to ask him about when I had him on the other day co-casting is his thoughts on Wraith King. But I just enjoyed watching it so much. Faceless Void, though, being grabbed. So Na'Vi definitely grabbing the harder carry here. But this is interesting because they don't have any obvious setup for the Faceless Void. For example, earlier this morning, we saw Faceless Void run by DK, and it was run with a Zeus, Furion, as well as an Ancient Apparition. There's very, very obvious synergy there that goes dating all the way back to Dota 1, where a very similar strategy was run. So I'm not really seeing that so far here for Na'Vi, so feeling a little bit iffy here, but I guess I do like Weave as well as Shallow Grave with the Faceless Void. Just the minus armor taken down during that Chronosphere time, as well as Faceless Void can be rather squishy and susceptible to stuns and just burst damage down. So a good Shallow Grave may prove to make the difference there. Shadow Demon now being grabbed by Fnatic, though.
As you mentioned, the earlier, it was picked up and it did lose. They did, and then the DK did get knocked out. So I think Faceless Void is a weak hero. I think it's a weak hero against Wraith King too, and like you said, they're lacking so much DPS, and that's a Tuskar offlane. Obviously, I should have known that, and they're gonna need a lot of work being put in from Dindy middle. I think this game, either Queen of Pain or Zeus or one of those 2 heroes, they're just gonna need a really bursty intelligence hero to make this work, I feel.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like I think you're absolutely right. Dendy's going to have such a big impact here because I'm not seeing the obvious synergy here with Faceless Void and that Chronosphere being setting up a lot of easy kills for them. So I feel like he's kind of a non-factor early on. Normally, when you do have those kind of synergized lineups, Faceless Void does come online really early as a carry and can be really effective, but it's dependent on your allies. And here I don't really see Faceless Void setting up that much. While the Tuskar is another hero that, compared to certain heroes like Centaur, Clockwork, those kind of heroes that, even if they're shut down a little bit, they can still do a lot going into the mid-game. Tuskar, I feel, is a hero who needs to snowball. There's no other way to say it. He has to actually have a good start because he doesn't have nearly as much burst damage here. I feel he's a little bit more defensive hero for an offlaner than that kind of, that pick-off potential that we see from a lot of offlanes. So I think it's going to be entirely up to Dendy to provide the splash going into this early game, and they take away one of the big playmaking heroes there. Queen of Pain was banned out, and Puck was taken away as well next to the SF. I'm not seeing much left here for this Dendy to really make a big splash going in like 20 minutes.
I'm not sold on Navi's draft so far. And this,
10
to note,
seconds
they're on the Radiant side again. So they're going to be down Roshans if this Wraith King is a carry and he gets really big really fast. So they do have Faceless Void Chrono to contest the Roshans. But other than that, and maybe Tuskar can scout out with his Eye Shards. And, well, they have a Windrunner now. And, whoa, that's a hero that actually could work now. I like that hero. That has to be the hero they needed.
Yeah,
And
something.
They're going to be...
It's just like something that's ultra defensive here that like spams out March the Machines. Will be able to defend a lot of these the early aggression coming out from Fnatic, and at the same time we'll just be able to buy Faceless Void a lot of room to be able to farm.
Well, you have Arrow to pick off Dindy, Shackle Shots, and then Axe with Blink. He's not totally safe this game, even with the Blink Dagger. Should do relatively fine. Mid game should come down to... I'm still giving the edge to Fnatic a little bit, just because I feel Tinker and Faceless Void don't synergize as well. But they're going to have bots moving around the whole map. And I'm interested to see how this game works out.
Yeah, this is sure to be a real interesting one for Na'Vi. I'm with you, man. I'm not real convinced about the Na'Vi's lineup, but it's Na'Vi, so you know you can't really be too critical because they can always make a lineup work. They just have they're just one of those teams. I feel like DK is another one of those teams that is always able to make a lineup work. They always maximize the potential of every single hero that they pick up, and so we'll see. We'll see whether or not how this is going to go for them. We are not going to be seeing a carry Wraith King, though. We are actually going to be seeing that in the support role. Era's going to be playing the Mirana. That's going to be your one position. We got Trixie's going to be playing the Axe. Hani's going to be playing that Wind Ranger in the mid, and that leaves No Tail on our Shadow Demon. Right now, they're just protecting their own jungle, making sure they'll have the ability to do those pulls. We're going to have Dendy on the mid Tinker on the Na'Vi side. Phoenix is going to be playing the off-lane Tusk. Kuro's going to be playing the Rubik Standard, and Puppy is going to be on the Dazzle, leaving Havost on that Faceless Void. So, looks like, man, we're going to be seeing a little bit more Farm Fest, as I don't really see Na'Vi making too much work with these two supports roaming around early. And again, the off-lane Tusk, I don't really see him making a whole lot of movement. They have a Tinker in the mid, so he can't really help out too much. So I don't really see Na'Vi moving around the map and providing those early ganks. Fnatic, they can, but it's going to be pretty dependent here on some smokes. If they could get that one disruption, get close enough with the Wraith King to land his stun, then they probably do have a kill.
They don't have a smoke up. They're going to be going aggressive tri lane. So Kuroki's going to be causing havoc, though, for Hani middle with these illusions. And that's a unfortunate pickup. I think that's almost stronger than a DD rune for support heroes. You can just zone out so easily. Or you could go, he might be doing a triple stack. He could do triple stacks really easily too.
That's also true. They could take a big advantage because you know Dendy is not going to be having the greatest time versus a Wind Ranger, most likely. Good attack animation when we used to see Wind Ranger picked up a lot of these times. Seeing in the mid-roll, he was oftentimes a very, very aggressive hero. The first arrow is going to go down. Will be able to land on Havost. Almost went a little too far there. And Havost copping a good amount of damage, but unfortunately, Fly could not get close enough for that Wraithfire Blast. Mainly because we had the poison go down from Puppy. So really heads-up play from him, but it goes to show that it's already a potion being used by Havost. You can tell how hard it is going to be for him to pick up CS.
They secured Dindy's start middle instead of Havost start. So I think this tri-lane is going to be going the way of Fnatic now. And top lane, Phoenix getting dove, but he's got boots. I don't think Trixie can kill him until he gets boots right now. But he should be winning this lane for sure. He could.
Yeah, he might be able to. He's getting a little close, decides not to go for the call. It would have required a rather lucky. Another arrow was landed on Havost here. Wraith King getting nice and close with another blast, but Havost, fortunately, he will have some defense there. Not only does he have the leap away from Time Lock, but I'm sure he's going to be going into backtrack at level 2, just because this lane is so damn dangerous, and they won't be able to really strike back unless Fnatic very obviously overextend themselves. Again, these two supports don't really output a whole lot of damage.
And, oh, Fnatic, he's getting no.
Yeah,
he
he
balled.
just snowballs up, maybe to dodge a little bit of the spin action. Dendy's doing well in middle lane, though. He's sitting 6-5 up against Hani, who is sitting 5-2. That laser spam getting rather obnoxious right now for Hani. Getting less and less last hits because of that 100% miss percentage chance. So Tuskar 6-1 so far in 6.81, and that's his both off lane and support. I've seen him run as both roles, so that's a pretty interesting stat. Shows that the
hero's
snowball is
good.
not to be reckoned with.
Snowball is, yeah. And then you even have the later game. I like the Frozen Sigil. I seen the Frozen Sigil do work in one of the games in the Asia scene during a Roshan fight. It was pretty funny.
Oh god, another arrow combo lands on Havos. Will be able to have a good telekinesis there. They do a lot of damage to No-Tail there. They're going to be able to catch up to him. Good leap, and Havos not claiming that last hit. It's actually Puppey takes him out with the poison. Doesn't go down, though. Arrow was trying to get a return kill, but doesn't quite get it. That was a beautiful play, though. The disruption went down, but Puppey landed a good score of damage there with that Shadow Wave.
Just playing a little bit too aggressive there from Fnatic, and Shadow Demon getting caught out with the heal onto 3 when Kuroki repositioned him. So good play by them, turning it around. And well, I don't know if the lane's lost right now. Let's see the CS. 6 for Havost and 11 for Era.
Uh-oh. Fnatic in some trouble. He's going to go down here. Gets the snowball, buys himself a little bit of time. Battle Hunger is also taken down pretty low, too. Trixie does get the last hit, though. He gets a little low, but nobody's making the rotations in to try and punish him. Yeah.
Dendy is going to get...
He's surrounded. Fly. He can't go for another hit. He knows there's probably support coming in. However, he will be rewarded with a regen rune for his bravery, going in and trying to shut down bottom lane. They did kill Havos, though, with the disruption arrow combo. So while we were distracted by middle, we also had action at that bottom lane. It looks like Fly is not going to hold up just yet. He's sitting here waiting to see whether or not Dendy moves forward and tries to gank him again.
Well, nice kill, rebuttal kill, bottom lane. They needed that. Once Era gets phase boots, they might be able to zone out. And Shadow Demon should be fine.
Yeah, level
Dendy
2
doesn't even have
poison.
boots.
He's going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but obviously No-Tail will be able to walk away from that one intact. Oh man, that poison does so much damage. It looks like No-Tail is just going to feed himself away to Roshan. He doesn't have any gold. He's really going to lose, so... Fine play by him, getting back to the base a little bit faster. Dendy may get caught out. Those Flies getting close enough. We'll be able to land the stun. Hani has an option for a shackle shot. Lands it beautifully. And now the power shot, even the slow coming in. We do have Puppey. He doesn't have Shell Grave, unfortunately. He doesn't have it. The last stun's going to come out. Dendy will fall, but it's going to cost Fly his life. And Hani a lot of damage. In fact, great Icicle Shards will be able to get a double kill there. One going the way of Puppey and one the way of Fnatic. So
Bottom lane,
maybe worth the trade. Yep, he gets the leap, and with the Soul Catcher, a little bit of extra damage. Fnatic, or excuse me, Havos, hoping to maybe get a lucky bash there on Era, but now he's in trouble. Don't run into the arrow. Havos dodges it. And now with the time walk away, even threatening to turn there on No-Tail. He should be fine, though.
And Trixie got a tear on top, and he's 300 gold from his Blink Dagger. This is going to be an Axe controlling the game. Even with the rotations of the Tuskar going middle, I think Axe did a lot more work there. And, well, they're putting pressure on Havos still. He's level 3 still, almost 4. But he's not going to be having his Chrono anytime soon. Meanwhile, the Miran is almost level 6. So I'm really feeling for Na'Vi, even though the score is 4-4 right now.
Puppey going to fill up Dendy's bottle and grab this haste rune at the same time. Of course, he's going to have to pop it to give it back to Dendy, but hey, small trades. Small trades just to make sure that Dendy can stay in lane a little bit longer. Finally, we get Tranquil Boots up for Fnatic, but that aggro tri-lane, like, not only was that going to do pretty well, they did feed away that first blood, and it's a little unfortunate, but in the end, they did shut down Na'Vi in that lane, and that also allowed Axe to just dominate on Fnatic, man. He could not do anything in that lane. He was just constantly chased out.
I've always had to walk all the way from bottom lane to the top lane, and now he's finally getting some EXP and CS for the... feels like the first time in the game, but he has 10 CS. It's not that great, and sub 7 minute.
They know this. Hani, he already saw that. He win runs nice and early. Disruption goes down to be able to save him as well. And now they're going to try and get a turn kill. Moonlight Shadow going down just to be able to provide a little bit of defense. Puppy gets Jackal shot. That's a huge one. And he may just take out here. He does have the poison. Can he pop it in time? No tail. The stun goes out. The poison wasn't quite enough damage because it was only level 1, but the Wraithfire Blast does ensure the kill. Really great setup there. Not only was that a ton of wasted time because they had this ward. They saw that game coming. And eventually, once they got enough heroes in that mid lane, they tried to bait it out and did so perfectly. Not only with the win run, bringing the snowball back into the tier 1 tower, but also the disruption that helped save Hani a little bit of that extra damage.
Well, great Mirana ulti, great Shadow Demon disruption, great Shackle shot. All around good effort there by Fnatic and team play, securing what they needed. And now they go up. It was only 1 kill, but it was still nicely played. And yeah, I agree with those stats. Bottom's one of the most versatile heroes in this patch. She works really well, almost in any lineup.
Nahaz loves throwing up the bottom stats.
I swear he does it every game. This guy has a hard-on for.
Nahaz just loves him. I mean, she's a beautiful lady. Can you really blame him? Top lane, though, they're going to jump in, revealing that newly found Blink Dagger. And Habos in some trouble. If they could just get the spins, backtrack too strong. And now Habos maybe thinking about turning. He doesn't have his ultimate. They're going to go on Fly, though. Seeing that he's only level 4, Fnatic throws down that Walrus Punch. Will get the kill. And yeah, Habos ticked out from the Battle Hunger. Trixie will be able to get away, though. So carry for support, still a great trade for Fnatic.
I think this is the new build for Axe. I was experimenting with this. I think maxing Battle Hunger is definitely the new build because I don't think you get enough spin procs because of the new counter helix, so it's not as effective. And I'm glad to see somebody else thinks a little bit like me. So maybe I'm not crazy yet.
Ryu just wants to give himself a pat on the back.
I do.
It's really what it is. He's like, I'm so smart, man. Look at me. I thought of this build and a professional player. He's going it too.
Well, you're just jealous, it sounds like. Bottom lane, though, is being pressured, and they don't have anything to stop this right now. Vost is still 5. This is just not a Void game. It didn't look like it from the start, and it's still not looking like it.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. Unless they get just like some monster Chronosphere into March of the Machines already kind of being spammed out, and that's just so unlikely. Otherwise, I don't see like how Tuskar's aggression, like with the Snowball, how that's going to be able to work with some pretty passive supports. You, like, snowballing in the Faceless Void isn't going to work for you, and snowballing in Dendi is probably the last thing in the world you want to do. So I just don't see the Tuskar pick being all that useful, and I certainly don't see the Faceless Void really being able to help out that much in this early to mid game in which Fnatic should be dominating. Like, they're already top 3 CS on the board right now. Net worth pretty much the same.
Vost. He's going in. That's 1 spin, 2 spins. God. One more? No,
gets dunked. They also have going in on middle lane. Kuro's going to be caught out by the Shackle. Doesn't latch. And the poison's not quite enough as No Tail still has that relatively low level. Big Daddy, though.
Oh, man.
Going to get popped by that big old Walrus Punch. And their attempt at a gank in middle will be denied. However, that's still, in the end, if you look at it in the big picture, that was still Faceless Void going down in the top lane in exchange for the support Shatter Demon. Not bad, and maybe even more as Trixie jumps in on Kuro. Arrow does land on the creeps, unfortunately. Still going to go and get that dunk, though. Dominating spree right now for Trixie, and you thought maybe the Axe was not quite as effective as he could have been in Game 1. Trixie's certainly doing a lot more in Game 2.
I'm glad to see it, and I think this Wraith King is going to outcarry Vost this game. I mean, they're just... it's hard to say, but...
Whoa, that Chronosphere!
Oh, nice.
3-man Chronosphere. Now they're getting that March of the Machines. This is one of those rare situations. You're going to see it do a lot of work. Disruption only buys him a second of time here. Hani may go down here. Great Shackle shot. He's going to turn on Puffy. Will still take out in the end, though. And maybe they could go for more. Wraithfire Blast does land on Denny. They can't continue forward. Habos trying to get that bash. Gets one on Aaron. That means they will get this kill. Trixie, though, he already has the chop on cooldown. And the spin's not enough. Habos, he can't get away from the Wraithfire Blast. The Snowball will land on Fly. But Fnatic does not have enough to be able to block him off with an Icicle Shard. And they're going to keep on going here. Trixie, he's got that maxed out Battle Hunger. And all of a sudden, Kuro's in some serious trouble. Maxed out Battle Hunger just destroys these poor supports.
That was some really lucky backtrack, but in the end, still Wraith King came in at the end and killed him. Dindy has his bots, so they're not looking too bad. Like I said, though, that's gonna be what's playing a big factor in these team fights. Still, is this Roshan advantage, and this since this axe got so big, he wasted a buyback, so that's gonna hurt him a little bit, but not too much in the long run. And, well, if you look at it at the net worth, Dindy has 1,000 ahead of everybody, so he could technically maybe carry them, because they're going to have a hard time pushing into the base if they don't catch him.
Yeah, I find that damn surprising considering the fact that he's only just now getting his bots up, so he hasn't really begun to really kick into that global farm just yet. And, oh, yeah, Pavo's going to get caught out. It was mid-leap, too, but he got hit by the Rayfire Blast before he could time leap away, and that will mean his death, and they might just find more. As Puppy's playing pretty aggressive here. Looks like he wants to get a ward up. Unfortunately, Puppy, you caught out by a trap here as Fnatic laying it down. Gets simple right clicks. Now the disruption goes up. Where's the follow-up arrow? Starstorm will be able to finish off the Dazzle. Doesn't go for the arrow just yet. Snowball will be able to finish off that pretty lady. But unfortunately, Fnatic, he's going to go down here as he's trapped against 3 Fnatic heroes, so it's still going to be a 2-for-1 exchange there. At least they killed the Mirana, who did have a decent amount of farm, but Fnatic doing a great job keeping up the pressure on Na'Vi as much as possible. It's unfortunate, though. They're running into every single hero but Dendi, and he's soon going to have that Blink Dagger, making him very, very tough to gank.
I think if they just keep shutting down Havos, I think it might be enough to carry them in the middle game. Axe is averaging a 7.8. I can see that. Yeah, and you might see it again. Now that spins? It's only a level 1 call. There's just not enough time to do enough spins now. I'm not liking the new RNG for the Axe, but that's why you're going to be seeing, I feel, this new Battle Hunger. And Havos is probably going to be going for a catch-up Midas. There's nothing else that he can be going for, because he's been shut down so hard. He hasn't bought anything new.
Hani's going to be caught here. Takes a little bit of damage. Denny throws down the lasers as well, but it's pretty obvious they did not have enough burst damage there to kill Hani, especially with his win run. He's still taking out a bunch there. Man, that poison touch, when it is maxed out, is insane how much damage it's able to do. They're going to smoke up, though, and Hani did pick up a regen at that top lane when they tried to kill him. So he's going to go right back up to full, and Fnatic going to continue this pressure on Na'Vi and see if maybe they can get a pick off. They'd love one on Dendi, but he's already got his blink, which kind of means the Axe is their big, great hope for catching out the Tinker. They need that kind of blink initiation.
I'm afraid for a Volst. The Shackle, the line, it's going to get it.
Yep, it easily catches him. Now the follow-up stun, arrow as well. They throw everything at Host here, and they can't quite get him in time as Puppy tried to come in Shalgrave, but it might just mean he's in trouble. Disruption soaking up the level 3 heat-seeking missiles. Fnatic in some trouble here. Hani's angling for the Shackle shot here. Will be able to get it right next to it. Snowball goes down. Kuro, whoa, right next to these heroes. And he's going to go down as well as he tries to save his ally, but gets a little too close to the sun. And power shot not quite enough. Looks like Fnatic couldn't really pursue too far into that one. Probably for the best, considering they did have Battle Hunger ticks on themselves. Rubik did steal that one earlier.
Well, that's an unfortunate death for Fnatic there. He was 100 gold off from his mech. Now it's going to be delayed for another minute, maybe 2. I mean, they're trying to give Havos all the farm he can, so he's going to be going for that catch-up Midas. If he can get that, maybe they can get back in this game. They still haven't taken this tier 1 tower, but this Axe is just progressing a lot. And, well, even this Fly might be going a Midas too. And a Midas on this Wraith King is, I don't know. He might actually outcarry this Void. It's not even an understatement, because if he does go greedy, I think they might have they'll have like 3 carries. It feels.
Well, he's got already a 380 gold lead on this Faceless Void, so he certainly has the start to do that if he wants. I was thinking more like a Blink Dagger is more my style, or potentially even the Blade Mail, since you are dealing with one of the worst heroes for Na'Vi right now is going to be that Tinker. He's obviously the most farmed. He's putting out the most damage in a lot of these team fights, thanks to whether it's missiles or March of the Machines. Either one is doing a lot to Fnatic. So I personally would rather see a Blade Mail, but maybe he can go for a more carry style.
Blanket wouldn't be bad. But they already have an initiation from Axe. They have Shackle Shots, and they have Shadow Demon Disruption. I don't think they need another Blink Dagger, but it doesn't hurt is the problem. So,
yeah.
Then they could get caught out here. They have no vision. Navi have no vision right now of this, and that's a 4-man call, but no.
They just got caught out. Their Chronosphere is going to go down on Honey, trying to finish him off, but Dendy will get caught by the call and chopped down real quickly. 1-for-1 trade so far. Trixie going to be brought back into that Tier 1 tower. Taking a bit of damage, but they know they can't really chase him out there. Wraithfire Blast was stolen by the Rubik. Great ability for you to steal, as they do need a little bit more right-click damage, or single target damage. They just can't really burst down these heroes fast enough. Hell, even Hani, one of the squishier heroes on Fnatic, got a Chronosphere on him, and he almost lived through it. So, goes to show that right now damage is severely lacking for Na'Vi, especially in the form of burst. They're going to be coming around here. No Tail's going to be leading. Might go for the disruption. The arrow follow-up will be able to intercept on Kuro. Now the snowball goes in. They're going to be able to pop No Tail real quickly, and Kuro might just live. That right click not going to do the trick. And now Trixie is on his way out. Ooh, good block off with the shards. Gonna try and work his way around. Another March of the Machines. Trixie's running right into it. Dendy with the laser. He needs one more missile, but he just doesn't have it. And Trixie will find a regen. What is with these regens right now for Fnatic?
That's 2 regens. Notice that Dendy bought back there. He has now he's set back a huge set. That's a huge loss. I guess the one thing finally, Fnatic does have his mech, and Fnatic don't have a mech, so maybe they can sustain a little bit more in these team fights. But just showing you the power of Axe there. Even if he had gotten the Shallow Grave off on Dendy, he would have died because of the Axe calling blading. And then Havos picked off again.
Oh no, Era.
At the very end of that.
Yeah, picking off Havos while he's trying to farm. We did pick up a Blink Dagger on the Wraith King, and Hani does have the Force Staff, so just more initiation as much as you could possibly find. That's certainly going to help out a lot against the Tinker. And we've got a nice little stack here, but I'm a little bit surprised they're giving it to Trixie, but I suppose he's the only one who could clear it quickly. Everyone else is going to take a good half an hour to go through it, so... Makes sense, and could be a quick pipe up for Trixie if he chooses to go that route.
I'm interested to see if this Windrunner goes the Ags. It's a really good DPS item. I had my doubts, but then I tried it out, and it does a lot of damage.
I don't suppose you were casting that game with me, did you? I believe that could have been Zai, but we actually saw Wind Ranger go for the Ags.
Yeah, I saw you guys casting it.
That was an insane amount of damage, man. The recent change where you can get the normal amount of procs on Mjolnir. Yeah, whether it was the tower or heroes, they just both dropped.
Well, they're still
Fnatic.
camped out.
This is a great ward to be able to have, and it sets up kills just like this. Puppey gets hit by that. They're going to combo that up with the Axe, chopping him down, gets that extra movement speed, but he's being stunned up a little bit right now. Slowed down by the Tuskar as much as humanly possible. Dendy, though, he's going to fall as fly, gets that stun, and now Tuskar's is being chased down by Trixie as well. Blinks back, though. Not wanting to be too aggressive. Fnatic's going to be held up by that Shackle Shot. Good Chronosphere, but he's going to go on fly. He has that Reincarnation. He's not even going to be able to finish off. Great disruption there from No Tail, and he has to work his way out. Tuskar, look, you're left on your own, buddy. He's going to snowball through some of these heroes. He's still actually really high level. No Tail, one more tick, but he can't get the damage, and Fnatic will now fall as Trixie taunts him in to stay around all of his heroes. Another arrow's going to go down, lands on Puppey, and Trixie goes right in for it. Going to be able to finish him off real quickly. And now Reincarnation goes off. Kuro's going to be slowed up enough for them to simply right-click him down. And Fnatic looking strong right now. 23-13, 21 minutes in. We've got almost a 10,000 gold lead and over 10,000 experience lead. Fnatic are just crushing it right now, and I have no idea how Fnatic are going to be able to come back in this game. Their only option is just hard turtling with the Tinker March of the Machines and just hope that time will give Faceless Void enough farm to turn into a carry. But like you said earlier, he's still going to have to deal with Wraith King, because if this game goes long enough, he's no longer going to be going utility. Eventually, he will start building carry.
Yeah, this game is one of the games where you're going to see a lot of kiting from Fnatic. You have Blink Daggers, 2 Blink Daggers, a leap, a Shadow Demon Disruption, like you said during that chrono, completely negates everything that Havos wants to do, can do. And you still have the Windrunner with the Windrun, also now with the Force Staff. And with the Roshan advantage, and they got the medallion now, they should be able to take this out easily. And Na'Vi can't contest this at all. So it's going to be a free Roshan, and then they're just going to systematically take out these tier 2s, or they could just go for the death push middle. But Na'Vi wants to make something happen. They know what's going on, and we'll see if they can reach there in time.
Oh, they've got 10 seconds on the Chronosphere. It will be up, I think, in time for this team fight. They're going to get there right as the Chronosphere is up, and this is going to be a great opportunity for them. But it's still going to be a tough fight, even if they get the perfect initiation. Hani will reveal some of them, and there's smoke. Na'Vi, they're having an issue with this tier 1 tower that's in the way. Roshan will fall, it looks like, before they get there, as they're just now trying to get close to the pit. It's just unfortunate. Fnatic can't do it fast enough. Good weave. And now Fnatic are going to get away from that Roshan. They're going to try and go on Havos. Arrow will land. Havos in some trouble. Won't be getting off the Chronosphere because the chop intercepts that shallow grave. Good disruption there, trying to save No-Tail his life, but still will take out its right click. Secures the deal. Era backing up. All that minus armor is doing work on Fnatic right now. And it's unfortunate that they just do not have Havos, because otherwise they could still continue to contest this Roshan, but since he's down for another 12 seconds, Na'Vi will have to back up eventually. And that should be Roche going down finally. It's just, they just don't have all that good amount of physical damage just yet.
I believe those stats. It's kind of like a hit or miss hero.
Oh god.
And he's gonna be caught out.
Stun up on No-Tail. He's gonna drop, but Puppy's gonna fall in exchange for that one. Kuro gets dunked on as well. Monster kill streak going the way of Trixie. And the cores for Na'Vi just have to get the hell out of here. Fnatic in some trouble though, because Trixie, he's got a blink, but he doesn't have enough for a battle hunger. So Fnatic should be away, barring any insane arrow coming out from Era. Dandy continues to split push as much as humanly possible.
Dire's middle tower
And denied tower going down in middle. That's another bad thing, is like when Dendy is split pushing, it's really easy for them to just chase him away at the right time and deny the tower. So even once they do claim some towers with all the split push, they're not going to be getting nearly as much gold as they should.
Well, to get my wish, at least Agnum's going to be upgraded for the Windrunner soon, in 100 or so gold. Mirana's still lacking DPS because she only has a Manta, but I mean, you don't even need it that much. This Axe is doing a lot of work this game, and, well, like I said, they shouldn't have contested that Roshan, but they had to. If they didn't contest that Roshan, it's just like conceding the game, which you saw what they did last game. They couldn't fight in during the tier 3 middle, and they just had to give up their Rexes because they just couldn't fight at that time, and, well.
Well, they're going to smoke up inside of the enemy jungle and work their way across, but it's just 3 heroes, and they might just be stumbling into the 4-man of Na'Vi. They're staying relatively grouped up, but again, they're going to be trying to pop Havos as soon as possible. This poor guy, man, he's got just no farm. This Ogre Axe might just come in at the right time. Oh, Trixie gets it. Goodbye, Courier. It brought in the Ogre Axe, thankfully, so Havos still has that one in his inventory. They're going to Moonlight Shadow up. They're going to run right into Hani here, and Windrun going off. Hani going to be held up by the Telekinesis, but the rest of the team is coming in soon. There goes the Chrono, but Arrow's going to be able to intercept Havos. They're knocking him up. Hani trying to get away, but Snowball will stop him. They get that kill, but Na'Vi are in a bad position there. Time leap away. Havos starts focusing on No-Tail, gets one bash. If he can get a couple more, stunned up though, and another arrow comes in, this time by the Rubik, and going to be able to claim the No-Tail kill for Havos. Kuro in some trouble. He's being chased down by Trixie, now focusing on Fnatic. He's going to go down, and maybe they can get a little bit more. Fly does have a blink up in a couple of seconds here, but going to be stopped by that magic missile. Trixie slowing him down, but they're running into a lot of marching machines here and will be forced back. Arrow will be able to land on Trixie, but he's so damn tanky, they can't possibly go for this, or maybe they can. Do they have enough burst damage? Fly, great leap away there from Denny, buying himself a little bit of room. Arrow will land on him, chain stunning him down though. Denny, good shallow grave, will ensure he will be able to teleport out, and that was a great little fight there for Na'Vi towards the end. They managed to kill the, take away the reincarnation at the very least of the Wraith King and still survive what seemed to be just a disastrous start. I mean, they started going in on Hani of all heroes with the Windrun going off. I mean, it was obviously the first hero that they saw, the first hero within range, but that was still a Chronosphere on one person, and they didn't even finish him off during that Chronosphere time.
Yeah, the Chronosphere, luckily, it takes away the Windrun, so you can hit during it. They didn't lose the Aegis for Fnatic, so they're still out in a they're still a far ahead. You know, they didn't get that much out of that, and Havos might get picked off again because they know where he's farming in. Oh no.
Oh, I like this, Havos. He backs up at the right time. Otherwise, that arrow would have been right on the mark. Hani moving forward will be able to land the shackle shot here, but this is not a good engagement that they want. Shards will land. Hani still held in place. Snowball's going to be able to stun him up a little bit longer. Moonlight Shadow and Disruption goes down, and Havos going to start working his way onto Hani here. They might have enough burst damage here. Chronosphere is down. Hani's still stunned up, and he will be able to get out with that wind run. Excellent initiation there from Trixie. They're trying to get out, but maybe they can't fight this. They've got all this March of the Machines. It's a bad place for Fnatic to fight. Era getting low. He's going to go down. Tries to do a little bit of a dodge there, but it's not going to be enough with the Manta. Trixie and the rest of his team will be able to get out, but that was still a simple pick-off for Na'Vi. Just getting the Mirana, but honestly, single hero pickoffs are all they can get right now. They're so far behind. 28 minutes in, 15,000 experience lead by Fnatic, and over a 12,000 gold lead. Trixie jumps in, going to be caught by the arrow that Kuro had stolen earlier. And they're still having a tough time, man. Trixie is a beast. He's only taking him down to half health. They have to back up here. They can't keep on going because the rest of his team is coming in. Wraith King blinks forward, looking to hit that stun, but he's going to start running into March of the Machines. Realizes he does not want this fight anymore. Backs away. I gotta say, these arrows coming out from Kuro right now. Holy crap. He's been landing a ton of them. Despite the fact he hasn't had the arrow for as long as this Mirana, I feel like he's landed more arrows.
I agree with that statement because he failed time walk.
I think he wanted vision up here because they have the gem for Puppy.
No, they have a gem.
But,
well, he could have. No, that was deliberate. Yeah. You're trying to make me think Havos is failing. Come on.
Yeah, well, he was just like, you're up there for 15 seconds. The fail part is there was no ward. All right. Obviously, they still would have checked it either way, but it's just unfortunate. Every bit of time, man, every bit of farming time lost matters, especially when you're still working on your first item. Havos is gonna have a Aghanims soon, and that's a Valve time. That's Valve soon, because 1,200 gold could be an eternity with how much Havos has been dying.
And how much pressure Fnatic's been putting on the map. Dendi!
Whoa! He stops his teleport in order to blink away. Smart decision there. I think many other players would have just held on to the teleport going, oh, it's almost there. But Dendi probably making the better decision there, blinking out. And just keeping back Fnatic as much as possible. The March of the Machines will slow down this push. They're trying to catch him out, but he's already teleported away to the fountain. No Tail is caught behind the lines here, but they can't quite catch up to him in time.
They need to do the mass blade mail, 5 blade mail for the Tinker strategy for the March of the Machines.
That's what I want to see, man. They do have one up for Fly. Snowball's going to go in on him. He does have the reincarnation, faces Void. Already popped that Chronosphere, able to kill the Shadow Demon. Arrow is landing on Havos. That's going to hold him in for a while. And the Shackle Shot on Dendi. If they kill Dendi here, there's going to be a huge win for them. No more March of the Machines, no more burst damage. Fly's about to go down, but he had reincarnation. He just slows down these heroes, and that means extra pickoffs. Trixie, he's thinking ahead of time here. He's going to go in, grab the 2 heroes in the back. Lock down Funnick a little bit longer, and this is going to be looking like almost a complete team wipe as Kuro goes down from Zai's jump. Havos, the only hero to survive there, getting a little bit closer to that Aghanims, but at such a cost.
I mean, you saw a great initiation by Havos to start it off. They killed the Shadow Demon. They have no physical DPS whatsoever, and they don't have enough magic damage, it feels like, either. So that a loss. Then he got picked off at the beginning of the fight with that great shackle shot and stuns because he wasn't hiding in the trees. Didn't he? Why you don't hide in the trees? But other than that, they're just too far behind with this lineup, and they would have to be, I feel, snowballing with this lineup to be more effective.
Yeah, this Chronosphere is their only hope right now, it feels like. And Funnick, I have to say, like, I think he's playing the Tusk really well. He's 5 and 6 and 7, so obviously he's been a big factor in a lot of these team fights, but I'm still not feeling the hero, personally.
This hero is annoying to play against, Cap. Frozen Sigil, the attack slow is ridiculous, along with the movement slow. The Snowball is just one of the best heroes.
It's countered by Focus Fire. The pew-pews of Wind Ranger will not be slowed.
will not be slow. I mean, you saw. I think this hero is definitely going to be a top pick. 6-1, maybe 6-2 after this game. But Navi still aren't out of it. They still have the chrono. I think they need maybe 3 marches, and Dindy has rearm level 3 now, so he might be able to put down 3 marches. But with this build, I don't think he's going to be doing that many marches. He just wants to zap, get some easy pickoffs here and there, and try to control the team fights by just picking off the heroes one by one.
Chat trivia, only 5 heroes have win rates of 60% or higher in 30 or more appearances so far in 6.81. 3 were mentioned earlier. Name them. So, Mirana?
Shadow Breeze.
Yeah, I'm getting for Shadow Breeze, Treant Protector, Shadow Demon. Kuro's going to fall here. Oh, saved by the Shadow Snowball. That was a great play. Fnatic didn't even put that on a hero. That was really smart. He went for the creep. That way they weren't dragged away.
Yeah, and the creep died. Thought it would. That was really well played.
Rip creep.
Creep.
And more and more. Slow coming down. Shiva's going to be able to catch out Kuro. He's done for. That's the biggest problem I have right now. Is Fnatic have such good initiation. They have to hit the perfect chronosphere. Otherwise, Dendi won't be able to get close enough to spam out all of those March of the Machines. And if March of the Machines is already going off, and they're inside of the March, when they get Chronosphere, that's just on Fnatic. That's just positioning.
He doesn't have enough mana to be spamming this. He only has 1,000. With level 3 rearm is 350. The only thing he can be doing is spamming the Dagon. At most, he'll get 3 marches off, and then he'll have maybe room for 1 Dagon. And that's if...
Is that including the Soul Ring for every
Correct. It's a lot of mana being burned because of the rearm level 3.
Oh, they're going to find Fnatic here. Shiva's going to slow him down. The Shackle, whoa! Shackle not latching that time around, and that means Fnatic will be able to get away. He's got a mech. He's got everything he needs. Hani using that focus fire but to little avail. Mjolnir is now going to be picked up here from the Mirana, and that means, I love it when this happens, man. When you run a ranged carry, that goes a Mjolnir, and you've got an axe on your team, you've got the Mega Axe. He is control of all the elements now. He's got the jump in, he's got just the fire of battle in his heart. He's got the Shiva, so he's got the ice, and then he's going to have the lightning with the Mjolnir active being placed on him. He is going to be one damn scary beast.
I thought all he needs now is the Yule Scepter for the wind.
For the wind element.
There you go.
Yep.
He's going to be creating tornadoes. But, jokes aside, they're still down a lot. And, well, I like Razor's Lightning Show better than the Mjolnir. I like Razor's Double Lightning Show, actually. Just for the...
You keep on pushing for that one, man.
Razor, come on.
Keep on
Take it back to
pushing
this.
for it.
Back it back. I don't know. Hero's decent. He's not really that great, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough pushing power.
We do have a rather large Ancient stack going on right now, but it's unfortunate that Fnatic have so much control of the game. Chat trivia. Templar Assassin. Wow. 21-12. Disruptor, 31-18. Not surprised about that one. Axe, Mirana, and Wraith King. Okay, so the big supports that we were listing, I guess they all definitely have 30 or more appearances, but not quite the win rate. Shadow Demon and those. Havost is going to get caught out, slowed down. He does have a time leap away, but Hani is going to try and force staff himself forward. Gets the right clicks, but it's not enough. He was so close to finishing him off. If only he still had a shackle there, and Fly's trapped.
That was on, yeah, No Tail. No Tail messed it up there.
Yeah.
That was a free kill. And they might get a kill on Era or on the Axe. The Axe is definitely going down.
Yeah, he's going to be slowed down, but maybe he can get a counter kill first. Kuro getting a little bit low. Dandy just applying as much magic damage as he can, but like you said earlier, he's now out of mana. Trixie getting low. Moonlight Shadow, they do have the dust, though. And, oh, the chop on the creep. He's trying to give himself the most movement speed he can. Jump in from Habot's going to be focusing on Trixie. Kuro's going to go down to the back, but Dandy comes back in with full mana. Shellgrave will save Fnatic for the time being, trying to chase him down. Arrow's intercepted and saves him. Well done, and now the Chronosphere is going to go down. It locks in his allies, but Arrow will fall in the process, down farther below. They kill Kuro on that Rubik, blowing up the Shadow Demon as well, and Fnatic, they've completely lost this fight. They're only left with Hani as their main damage dealer. He does have the Aegis, but if he dies now, he's probably going to go down a second time, so he wisely backs up, using his mobility to create distance up against this Na'Vi squad, and Na'Vi, they just won their first real team fight, I think, all game long. They finally did it.
Yeah, the Axe playing too aggressive there, getting caught out, and then he was able to make. If your Tinker is coming back into a fight twice, you're doing something wrong during the fight, I feel. And since he was able to get off, I don't know, that was like 3 or 4 Daggons on him, on the people. So really well played by him, and really well played by Na'Vi. That's right. I'm amazed that they won that team fight. So maybe they can pull this back. They're still down a lot though, because Hani still has his Aegis, and they still have the ulti up on Wraith King. But it's Na'Vi, like you said. They still have a chance.
Did you want to see a little bit more pew pew coming out from the Wind Ranger, or do you like this straight, strict physical damage build by him?
Things needs sheep.
Sheep?
I think she needs a sheep. Because they have, because you could, I like the blink. Blink dagger is amazing, but if you blink and then you sheep and then you can ulti and then you can shackle afterwards, you're gonna get a lot of solo kills.
So, and that would definitely help out for the lockdown up against Dendi, one of the most important heroes for you to be able to take out of the fight in the beginning. So, I kind of like the Scythe device. I was kind of questioning in the beginning when you were like Scythe, and I was like, but focus fire though. But I think you're right. Like the disable time and also just being able to have the jump on Dendi is so crucial.
Oh, Kuroki. Yeah. Nice knowing you, buddy.
Oh, they might get both there. Both's going to get caught as well. Hani looking for that shackle shot. Gets it, but the snowball save. They're going to chase down Arrow, who has to leap away. That's going to leave Puppey alone, hanging out to dry there. The rest of the team for Na'Vi is trying to get out, leaping over cliffs or wherever they can. Hani, oh, bad blink by him, and Funnick might be able to get away. Chrono being thrown down. Kuro's trying to get himself away. Throws down a telekinesis to help stun up a little bit more. He's going to take out here possibly from the Battle Hunger. In the back, though, we had Funnick coming back into the fight, able to kill No Tail. Not quite sure it was worth it, though, as he does fall in the end. At the very least, he ensures that his allies will be able to get out. 1-for-1 exchange, considering that initiation for Fnatic. I got to say, I think Fnatic Na'Vi came away with that one pretty much unscathed. The 1-for-1 trade, considering the start of the initiation on Havost. That could have gone so much worse.
Yeah, I love when your fruitions come true, Cap. It's like the
call and then the blink in snowball. That was so beautiful.
It was amazing. I can't believe it actually worked out this game, and he had enough to farm it. So that was a really amazing play. And then without that play, they would have lost Havost and the Rubik. So
oh yeah, because they were the call was ending, and Hani had just landed a shackle.
But now you see the importance of a sheep stick. Now you're seeing that they need more lockdowns for when they run away, because they have these blinks, but they still don't have enough after the blinks. So I think they need a little bit more chasing power, maybe more killing power. And, well, the Aegis is about to expire in 30 seconds. They're not going to be making use of this on Hani. So there might not be any action until the next Roshan.
What do you think about this Faceless Void's build right now? He has a plate mail and what I'm presuming is going to be an Assault Cuirass.
This is scary. Dendi has the Eth Blade, but to go back to your question,
oh Jesus, he's got so much damage.
Yeah. Maybe I'm confused at what he's gonna go next, because Lincoln's is okay, but he might need a BKB. But if you go a BKB, you're not gonna have as much mana as you want. I'm interested to see what he's gonna go though. Cuirass on who? Onto the Wraith King?
No, the Faceless Void. He picked up a plate mail. Unless this is like a very, very odd Shiva's pickup. Which Shiva is definitely good for them, but I would presume like Tuskar would be really the best carrier for that one. I mean,
well, he needs attack speed and the damage, so either way, he's gonna need 2 items to be really effective in any of these team fights.
And this will allow him to tank up a lot better, especially considering the right clicks of Hani are damn scary right now. So that extra bit of armor just keeping him alive against that. And despite the fact that Fnatic, right now they're sitting at a 12,000 gold lead and about a 20,000 experience lead, I feel like Na'Vi, they're not winning this game by any means. But you can certainly see how just like one more good team fight like that will put them in control of this game, despite the fact that it would still probably have a rather large gold lead for Fnatic. They've got those kind of heroes. They're going into the late game. There's so much gold stacked on this Tinker. He's becoming that really, really scary one-man army where he is just able to burst down one hero with Dagon, E-Blade, Missile, Laser, and then refresh that and do it again and again. They need to contest Dendy as much as possible. I am fully with you now on the Scythe of Ice.
Radiant's top tower is
But
Dendy
throwing down a little bit of magic damage on Trixie. Needs to get himself out of this. Shackle does not land. And now he turns on Trixie, knowing he's got the time. Hani in the background was trying to do as much damage as possible. Great Chronosphere holding in too. Arrow comes in, holding Havost in. But a great snowball is going to stun up Fly a little bit longer. Blade Mail will not keep him alive. He's going to lose his reincarnation and probably his second life as well, as Fnatic are not going to be staging a rescue just yet. In fact, if anything, Dendy's going to look for more kills as he blinks aggressively. Fly will go down eventually, and he had the gem on him too. That's a big pickup for them, and Havost is going to be going for that Shiva's. Dendy did finally catch up to that poor Mirana, and now Hani's taking a bit of damage as well, but Dendy finally runs out, and will have to teleport back to base. There it is, Na'Vi. I think they just took control of this game. They're now winning, in my opinion. They got Shiva's up on the Faceless Void. I'm down with Shiva's. Wasn't quite sure about him picking it up, but I'm still down with Shiva's. I think it's going to be a great item for them to have in general.
Well, either way, the Faceless Void needs to be surviving, and I think if he didn't get the Ags this game, it would have probably been over, but the Ags pick up just the 60-second cooldown, just allowing you to constantly team fight, and Dendy with his burst damage, I mean, they got a little bit too greedy there going for that, and with the Axe dying again, this Axe,
God.
Oh no.
Dendy's going full in here, and will be able to pop the Shadow Demon. Disruption leaves the Wind Ranger open to it. Dendy's going all in, he kills him inside of the fountain. Dendy, double kill, mega kill streak, and just ensured that Na'Vi should be able to claim a Rax here. They've got 4 beating on this tier 3.
There's no buyback for Windrunner.
Yeah, Dendy's going to be back soon. They're just left with 3 men. Fnatic have to give up this mid-Rax. Well, maybe not. Trixie's going to jump in, grabbing 2 here, but they're so damn tanky. Snowball's going to be able to help out that Dazzle. They start going in on Fly, stunning him up. And there goes that Chronosphere, trying to lock down. He gets Era in the back. He's going to go for him first. Now gets the E-Blade. Finishing off Era will be Dendy comes in. Doesn't get Era just yet. Arrow goes down. Finally gets that last hit, but lands the arrow. Unfortunately, E-Blade going out from Dendy is going to be able to save him a little bit of damage. Trixie still trying to focus him, but another Snowball save means Dendy should be able to get out of this. Another spin. Dendy shallow graved up, but actually going to be able to finish off the Shadow Demon, but eventually he will go down here. The call goes out. He finally goes down. Arrows coming in, locks up Havost. Na'Vi just might have just overextended their welcome here. Kuro's going to be wiped out. Looks like they're going to try and finish off some of these supports. Dendy's coming in for a second time, though. Trixie already getting low. He's going to get popped. Fly, he doesn't have a reincarnation. He's going to go down as well. Era gets back to the fountain. A lot of heroes coming up. Na'Vi, they know they got to get out of here. No, the shackle! Dendy, he bought back, and this may be his life. Shallow Grave's going to buy him some time. Can he blink away? Can he do anything here? He E-Blades himself just to be able to buy himself time. Blinks, trying to get another one, but he doesn't get it. Hani gets the right clicks to finish him off, and they may have claimed middle racks, but they just bought back on Dendy. 100 seconds left, 45 minutes into this game, and Fnatic might just be able to even up this game by claiming the mid racks of their own.
That was a range Rex, so it's not as important. And the Roshan is up with an Aegis and a cheese now, and they did overstay. It's all because the Windrunner came back up. They didn't know the timing of when she was going to come back up, and so Hani was able to do work there. And wow. Nope,
no shout out to what is hip. Nope.
Big.
I already made that joke with Ryu a long time ago, and besides the fact that I stole it from Reddit, so no shout out to what is hip.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, Capitalist is the one true.
Oh, Havost! He's going to get a 2-man Chronosphere, not the best. Good disruption going down. He's going to focus on Hani where he can, running around a little bit. He knows he's going to be in some trouble, though, as the Chronosphere goes down. Snowball saves once again. Fnatic, man, he's keeping Havost alive. Now they're going to focus on this Wind Ranger, though. Force Staff will get him out of danger. Good Shallow Grave. And he might just take out, though, Tuskar. Fnatic will fall as the arrow does land on him. Fnatic, they're going to keep on going. 40 seconds until we have Dendy up. They finish off Kuro. And fortunately, Faceless Void was able to get out. Means he will have the Chronosphere for another time when Dendy is back up. They should be just mid-rags back up and probably take Roshan. I don't think they have time for a second one.
Yeah, Windrunner's short cooldown on the ulti allows them to take down these towers fast while she took down Oh.
Good force staff away.
Going for 2.
Oh, they are going to go for 2. This is risky as hell. They're already focusing on the tier 3. Fortunately, Hani gives so much damage here. The snowball is going to be leading. Stunning up Trixie. They're all grouped together there. But Havos knows he can't initiate without Dending being there. Like, he is not the main source of damage right now. Havos does very, very minimal. It's all about Dendi. This is more like a utility void. He is more there for the disables than anything else.
I hope Havos doesn't go BKB. I hope he gets a Mjolnir, because right now Fnatic is definitely being an MVP candidate for me, but he's just saving everybody on his team, and I'm telling you, man, this hero does work. This does work in the field.
Dude, I believe
all
you.
day, every day, and they need DPS on Havos to be really effective, and what is Dendi doesn't have a buyback for another 3 minutes, so if he dies, I'm not sure they're gonna win.
Yeah.
So Dendi has to be playing really careful during this.
Honestly, I'm not down with what they're doing right now. It feels like they're playing super aggressive, and Fnatic, they can afford to contest this, well, a little bit. They do have 2 buybacks on cooldown, and Wind Ranger doesn't have hers, so this is actually pretty risky for both teams. Any sort of clash will mean, if it's a good enough clash, it's going to be in the end of the game, because there just won't be those buybacks, won't be enough of them, and either team can end the throne in a short amount of time.
I think this Axe needs a BKB. Sell his Soul Ring, get a BKB. There's just too much magic damage now coming from Dendi that you can't be getting a BKB. And, well, we're going to be seeing Skeleton King getting a sheep too once he has a sheep, and Windrunner has the sheep already. So no buyback on Hani. And, well, I think they're going to be able to control Dendi. It's just going to be, can they control Fnatic?
Yeah. So Scythe of Ice for Hani, Scythe of Ice for Dendi. Scythe of Ice soon to be up for our Wraith King. So, like you were saying, a lot of tables being picked up. And I do like the fact that Hani neglected the Daedalus in favor of finishing off that Scythe of Ice, knowing that disable is going to be so important. There it is. It's up for a fly. However, this does mean he won't have a buyback. Of course, he didn't have one anyway for another 2 minutes, so that's going to be fine. No Tail is just scouting out some of these heroes. But Fnatic, very on edge here. Not quite sure if they really want to take this fight. Chrysalis is up for Era. As soon as he has the Daedalus, he's honestly going to be quite the monster. But it's still going to be Dendi, who is the biggest threat. If they can get the initiation on him, there's just very little damage coming out from Na'Vi otherwise.
It's on the backs of... Well, Kuroki hasn't been playing too bad with the arrows he's been stealing, but there's not much he can do. If he can steal a shackle shot, he'll be useful in these team fights.
Right.
Puppy's pretty useless in these fights besides Weave, because Shallow Grave doesn't help at all. And his Force Staff, it helps a little bit too. There's the Maelstrom.
Go for Roshan.
It's going to be dead.
Yeah, they see the hero's top, and then the focus fire. Oh, Hani actually blew it on the Lincolns. This means they're not going to be fast enough to take it, and immediately Na'Vi are rotating over.
Good Sigil, scouting out the Roshan. Well.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually notice that. I forgot Tuskar was on the Radiant, so that's a damn good call. And he is. You're getting all your wishes right now. Hani going for that Scythe of Ice, and Hobos did go for the Maelstrom, but he's going to be in trouble. Maybe he wishes he had a BKB, narrowly dodging that arrow. That was so close. If he got hit by that, I think Fnatic would have committed to a team fight there with that big advantage.
Yeah, for sure they should have contested, but without it, they don't know where Dendi is. They don't want to risk it. They don't know where Fnatic is. He's just going to save them again, and they'll just get caught out of position with another Chrono probably. So, good of them to back off. You don't have to play so cautiously, but the bad thing is that Dendi now has his buyback, and it's off cooldown, but he still doesn't have it for another... That's a lot of buyback gold. You need... Oh, it's because he has no reliable gold. Yeah, that's why.
I love how sorry, go ahead.
No, you can.
I was talking about just Havos and his really defensive positioning there for farming Ancients. He put himself in that little corner so he wouldn't get caught out by like enemies seeing him from this cliff or anything. He just ensured that he could farm those Ancients in the safest possible way, because he knows just one pickoff is all it's going to take, and that pickoff may be on Puppy. Again, like you were talking about earlier, not the most important hero in the world, but still means something here. They're going to back up. Dendi is going to be here soon. And if Fnatic move too far forward, they will get turned around on. Ooh,
Well.
so what big ultimates here? If Kuro's able to finish off his Aghanims, we've got double purge from Shadow Demon. We have Focus Fire, meh. We've got the Culling Blade, possibly good, but kind of doubtful with the way Rubik just kind of shatters under a lot of these team fights. So it's kind of doubtful he's going to be able to get that close. So, and not going to be the most useful Aghanims upgrade in the world for Kuro, but hey, if he gets double purges there from the Shadow Demon, well worth it.
Almost like to see him just get a blink, or
Yeah.
do they have a mech? They don't. Yeah, they have a mech on Fnatic. He's had that for a long time. Well,
I do agree. I would much rather see that, seeing as I don't feel like double purge not as strong as maybe having that extra bit of mobility to get those right stuns at the right time, especially on Hani. Like just like how Fnatic need to be able to stun up the Dendi and keep him out of this fight, Na'Vi needs to do the exact same thing when Ringe Ranger manages to get a focus fire on one of these heroes. They have to disable him instantly, and that's where a blink could come in handy with a quick telekinesis. Nahaz showing off the stats of Wraith King, who's doing well. Oh, jump in from Dendi. Making me a little nervous there, buddy. But they're not committing to anything just yet. Just probing at Fnatic, seeing how they react. What tells is going to be in this team fight. They're just having this standoff, man. Both teams just kind of looking at each other funny. We got a lot of buybacks coming up, so I think both teams are going to feel more confident about maybe forcing a team fight. Before, we didn't have a buyback on Dendi, but he's finally farmed up enough for that.
yeah, both teams have 2 smokes if they want to use it. So either team can try to go for not an all-in. Both teams are still fine. Both teams are down only 1 Rex, and this Roshan has still been up for 5-6 minutes. So,
Jesus, you could just feel the tension in this match. 53 minutes in, and 33-41. We could take a look at that gold graph, but all you see is it just getting relatively even here, and a little over a 10,000 experience lead. But really, those stats don't mean as much as they used to, because Na'Vi, they're certainly not behind right now.
yeah, they
very
have
even
amazing split
matchup.
push. If they
Couple
saw
of heroes
Dendi,
isolated
they see
here.
top.
Havos going to jump in. He's going to go on Era. Try and lock him down as soon as possible. Makes his way away. Disruption goes down. Great defensive play there from No Tail. Goes back to Era. Sides against it. Now the snowball's going to come in. Feels like a bad initiation here for Na'Vi, and they're going to end up losing this one. It's Havos already being targeted down. If they can finish him off, this Focus Fire is doing a huge amount of damage, but the leap away there. Zai keeps on pursuing. No Tail as well has a blink dagger. They're trying to catch up to Havos. Catch him out with the disruption.
Dendi got hit by the arrow. He's going to get sheep. No.
Oh, God. He's getting caught out on the side. They're also going on Havos at the same time. They can't lose both of these heroes. Dendi stunned up. He will fall. Havos at the same time. Kuro looks like he's going to fall. Havos did manage to get himself away with a time lock, and it looks like a teleport. So he's managed to get out, but Dendi may have to blow a buyback here after that poor initiation. They may find a little bit more. Puppy, he just cannot get out of here fast enough. He's only got a 4-staff. Meanwhile, he's dealing with all of these blink daggers. If he can get a 4-staff over the cliff, oh, barely gets over it, but we have blink daggers coming up, and the arrow's going to land on him too. Puppy is killed from over the cliff. So
yeah, I mean, that they got picked off because of the bottom arrow, and then into the immediately leap over with these sheep stick, and they have buybacks on all the heroes. That's the one good thing, that all of them died. So I think Fnatic right now, they should back off and do Roshan, but their eyes are glittering with gold because they see 3 heroes dead, and this might cost them.
Yeah,
Chrono's off CD.
If they could force these buybacks and be able to extricate themselves from this whole entire team fight, this will be good. They force the buyback on Dendi, back up, do Roshan, exactly what you want to see.
I agree. You want to force out the B buybacks.
They get the
before you do the Rosh.
Yeah, they get the best of both worlds, really. As long as they're able to finish off Roshan, I don't really see a problem with that, especially with the double damage being picked up by Era. And once again, Adi looks like he was unable to get the focus fire. But they should be fine, as we have 2 heroes back in the base, and Na'Vi, the rest of them are not moving to the pit fast enough. So this means Aegis as well as Cheese. But, you know, I'm not quite sure this is really a big enough advantage, just
No,
because
the
of
big
the
enough
fact
set
Dandy.
is
Oh
that-
God, Havos! He jumps in, but he doesn't get far enough. Roshan is seconds away from going down. Will fall finally, though. Era trying to be able to pick up, will be able to grab the Aegis and the cheese. Fnatic could not get there in time with the snowball. And now Havos fighting up against Trixie. The rest of the heroes coming in. Dendy's in some trouble. Throws down an early Shell Great. Turns around on Hani. Stopping some of that incoming damage. Another Scythe of Ice goes down. Dendy getting forced after trying to save him any way he can, but he will fall. And that means he's going to be out of this for quite some time. No buyback. Havos trying to do what he can, but he's fighting up against too many heroes. He's going on Trixie. Trixie will drop here, but it's just the support. He now focuses on Era. Era does have that Aegis. He's dropping real quickly here. Surprisingly enough, he's going to fall, and maybe Fnatic, they're going to lose this team fight. Havos now going on Fly. The cheese comes back into play. Fnatic trying to drag these two big damage dealers away as they keep on going in. Havos, he's got to get himself out of here. He gets hit by the stun. The follow-up arrow. Havos held in place. The Shell Great, but Trixie gets the chop. It doesn't matter. Now they're going to find more. Poppy's going to go down. Fnatic, the only hero to get himself away. And that might just be GG. We have Havos, who does have a buyback, but there's nothing that's going to be coming out from Dendy. It's going to be all on Havos' back right now to try and defend this. Looks like 3 versus 5. And Fnatic, they're going straight for the throat. They want to take down these tier 4s, maybe pick on Puppy before he can back to the throne.
Trixie, what are you doing?
Oh God, Trixie's in so deep. Havos has come back, he's stunned up. Trixie's now inside the fountain. If he gets stunned up here, the Chronosphere is up. Oh, Havos, he couldn't get it off in time. The Scythe of Ice stuns him. They'll trying to go for, oh, arrow's gonna land on Havos. Havos stunned up. He's gonna go down before he can get off the Chronosphere. This is over. He's got no buyback. Fly goes down, but he's got the reincarnation in Fnatic. They have everything they need to be able to take down these tier 4s in time and clear this Rags. The supports from Na'Vi. They're trying to do what work they can in the background. Looks like Axe was able to finish off Puppy. Fnatic does get the Axe, though, gets a double kill as he gets the Shadow Demon as well. We still have Hani as well as Era focusing down this tier 4. It's going to be close.
Dendy.
10 seconds until Denny's up, but it's not going to be in time. This throne's going down too quickly. One focus fire is all it's going to take from Hani. We have Fnatic coming in, trying to stop Hani. Hani is now actually Kuro. He gets the taunt with the snowball. They're doing it. They're actually defending their base. Hani's getting low. The throne, it's getting so low. Hani's trying to buy himself time, but Fnatic's chasing him away. Dendy, he's in trouble. He can't go down a second time. Era's chasing him in all the way into the fountain. Fly wants this. They get the arrow. Dendy falls, and that's it. Era, they're gonna get the throne. GG is called from Havos. 59.5 minutes in, and Era will solo down the throne. Nothing is there to stop him. Fnatic is still running around, chasing down Hani. What a game. Na'Vi versus Fnatic. Game 2 will go the way of Fnatic. Good God, that is one of the best games I've had the pleasure to cast here at Join Dota. Ooh, man.
That was an amazing comeback from Na'Vi on the backs of Fnatic and Dendy. I still can't believe they didn't manage to pull it off. They got racks up and a lot of, but it just back and forth. That was an amazing game to watch, and glad to be here, Cap. And well, Fnatic take a 2-0. That was, oh man, I can't believe it.
I'm ready. I'm ready to just quit. I'm ready to just quit, but we're not over yet. That's the crazy thing, is we are not done with this night. We're done with this series, though. This was only a 2-game series, so Fnatic versus Na'Vi is over. Fnatic take it 2-0, so they get themselves some good points on the board for the Dota 2 Champions League, which they kind of already needed because they tied up their series with Empire, so they get themselves some welcome points. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, but we're not over just yet. We still have more D2CL action. That's going to be MYM versus virtus.pro, and that is going to be starting pretty much as soon as possible. I believe both teams are going to be waiting in the lobby, so stick around. We still have more Dota 2 action to come in the D2CL Season 3. We'll be back after just a short little break. Play some commercials, play some music. We'll be back with more Dota action.